How's it going, guys? And welcome to the Daily Grind Fantasy tutorial video where I will walk you guys through the differences between our memberships, what our tools do, how they do it, and how to best use the tools to your advantage when trying to be a profitable sports bettor using DFS apps like PrizePicks, Underdog, bettor, and more. And before I get into the memberships, I wanted to explain to you guys what Daily Grind Fantasy is. Daily Grind Fantasy is a website that helps you find profitable bets on PrizePicks, Underdog, bettor, Flip, all your favorite DFS apps by line comparing sportsbooks lines and odds directly back to those different DFS apps to find the best value. Here's the front page of Daily Grind Fantasy that you will land on when you come to the website. As you can see here, you can enter in your email and put in your state. You will receive some of the top plays from the optimizers, from the tools at Daily Grind Fantasy. Not only that, but we will send you emails with profitable betting tips and strategies on how you can be a better and more profitable sports bettor. And if we scroll down, you can see it shows a little bit off about the tools, some of the different promos that you can get by signing up for different books. And if we keep scrolling down, it'll explain the fantasy bundle, the AI Slip Generator plan, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing in this video as well, with more of a hands-on breakdown. And now you're ready to find out more about Daily Grind Fantasy's membership options. You're going to come up to the top left to this pricing button, click that, and it will pull you over to the membership page. That's going to show you the two different options you have when signing up with Daily Grind Fantasy, that being the AI Slip Generator and the Fantasy Bundle. Let's start with the Fantasy Bundle. How much is it and what's included? Well, it's $59 a month, and you get access to the DFS optimizers, the Fantasy Scores page, and the DFS Middling Tool. So a pretty good bang for your buck at $59 a month. Let's start with the Fantasy Bundle. How much is it? What's included? Well, we see here it's $59 a month, and included is the DFS optimizers, the Fantasy Scores page, and the DFS Middling Tool. There's also payment plans for yearly and quarterly if that's something you're interested in. And before I show you guys exactly what those tools are that are included in the Fantasy Bundle, I wanted to show you guys the second membership option, which is the AI Slip Generator. The AI Slip Generator. How much is it and what's included? Well, it's $299 a month, which I know seems like a steep price tag compared to the Fantasy Bundle, but it really is worth it when you consider what you are getting a part of this AI Slip Generator, and we'll talk more in detail about that in just a little bit. This too has options for yearly and quarterly payments as well. If you've came across this video and you're interested in joining Daily Grind Fantasy, I want to personally hook you up. If you use code DustinDGF when signing up for Daily Grind Fantasy, you will get 25% off your first month. And like any other website, once you select your subscription and you sign up for it, of course including your first name, last name, email, etc., you'll be ready to roll. So now let's get into the weeds of what's included in the Fantasy Bundle, and that's starting with the DFS optimizers. And once you're signed up and signed in, your main page is going to look like this. And to get to the optimizers, you are going to come up here to Tools and click DFS Optimizer. It's then going to pull up the optimizer screen, as you can see here. The DFS optimizers are the main tools of Daily Grind Fantasy, and what it does is what I mentioned before. It helps you compare sportsbooks lines and odds directly back to whatever app you are searching for in PrizePicks, Underdog, Parlay Play, bettor, all the apps you can see here up top. But what does it actually do? It's going to pull all the sportsbooks and DFS apps, lines and odds into one place for you to quickly and efficiently decipher what is good value by comparing those lines and odds back to PrizePicks or those other apps. But it takes it a step further and actually devigs these lines for you. It's going to remove the juice from the sportsbooks, basically what the sportsbooks are making from you just placing a bet, to find the true fair odds percentage or odds percent to hit, as you can see here. This is extremely convenient and valuable because the time it would take you to search all these different sportsbooks for the odds they have for certain plays and then to manually devig these lines using math would be a nightmare, and you would miss out on a ton of plays due to them being bumped or removed. And pretty obviously, the higher the odds percent chance to hit is, means you have a better chance of winning your bet. So how do we know these plays are good value when comparing back to the sports books? Well, if we look at Patrick Mahomes here, he was listed at 253.5 pass yards on PrizePicks, but 4 different data points, aka the market, these sports books say this projection should be closer to 238.5 pass yards for Patrick Mahomes. So Patrick Mahomes is off 15 yards comparing PrizePicks back to the rest of the market. Clearly, this has a very good value on the under and giving us a 57.75% chance to hit the under on PrizePicks based off where the market is. You can even see some plays here that don't have differences in projections, but the odds are drastically different what you're getting it at on PrizePicks compared to what it is on the sports books, we can see here, Jaden Daniels over 1.5 passing touchdowns is at minus 140 average odds across these different sports books, but on PrizePicks in a 5 or 6 man flex, you are getting this play at minus 119 odds. Which, over the long term, that makes a pretty big difference. The sportsbooks are telling you this has this percentage chance to hit based on where they are pricing their odds, when PrizePicks, since it doesn't change for taking overs and unders, you are always going to get minus 119 odds in those 5 and 6 man flexes. And just a quick nugget and we'll get back to the tools, but 5 and 6 man flexes are mathematically the easiest slip types to profit long-term playing PrizePicks, especially comparing to 2 and 3 man slips, right? 2 and 3 man slips, you need to be right 57.7 plus and 58.5 plus % of the time on your individual legs in those slips. So you have to have a hit rate of 58.5 plus % to be profitable long-term playing those slip types, when 4% less for 5 and 6 man flexes at just 54.2 plus % hit rate on your individual legs needed to profit long-term playing those slip types. But in the simplest of terms, on Daily Grind Fantasy, you want to look for 5 or 6 plays that have a high % chance to hit, that are maybe in this green, even down into some yellow, and get them into slips together to where your average fair odds percentage is going to be above that 54.2 plus %, and you will be profitable long term. And now let's talk about the different DFS apps and filters the optimizers have to offer. You can see here at the very top the different DFS apps that you can actually click on and compare sportsbooks lines and odds directly back to find the best value. I've mentioned a few, but you can see at the very top all the different ones we have to offer. And then we have the filters down below. Let's talk more about the filters. The first filter all the way to the far left is the league filter. Whatever leagues you want shown on the optimizer, you can go ahead and select those. If you want all of them, obviously they're already all selected. But let's say you wanted to get rid of CS2, you can click off CS2 and it will take that off the optimizers and show you only the sports or leagues that you guys want shown at that time. And next would be the specific team filter, where you can actually search if you're looking for a specific game or team or even a player, right? Let's say we want to find Kirk Cousins props. So we'll go click the Atlanta Falcons and we can see all of the Kirk Cousins props, including the rest of the Atlanta Falcons. You can also search by specific stat types as well. You can see here, we could clear this, and if we just want to see MLB player bases, we can go ahead and select that. It's going to only show us player props for player bases in the MLB, or if we go ahead and add all of them, and we just want to see overs and unders, there's also a filter for that. So it's only going to show over props, or it's going to show all under props as well. And now the plus EV plays filter. You can see here that you can click on whatever slip type you're looking for, and it's going to show you profitable plays that are available to get into those slip types. So right now for 2-mans, there is not 2 profitable plays that are going to be good enough value to play in a 2-man pick. However, if you guys come to 5 or 6 man flexes, let's go with the 6-pick flex. There is currently 2 plays that are profitable plays for 6-man flexes. So technically not enough to get into a full slip, but if you use that average fair odds percentage I was talking about earlier, you could come down below and grab some of these yellow plays and build out a full profitable slip. There's also a filter for how many data points you would like to trust. So if you don't like one-to-one comparisons with PrizePicks and Underdog, and you want to see only plays that have 3 or more data points to feel more confident about selecting that play as good value, let's go ahead and select 3. Now it's only going to show player props that have 3 or more different sportsbooks or DFS apps as data points, comparing back to whatever book you have selected. And if you have a bunch of random filters on and you quickly want to clear these, you can go ahead and click this reset filters button, and it's going to take out every filter you had. And this little button here that says show line discrepancies, if you don't want to see plays like LeBron James projection on PrizePicks being 28.5, but on FanDuel and DraftKings, it's at 25.5, you can click this button and it's only going to show you plays that have the same projections but different odds. And up in the top right, you can even search by specific player. Let's type in Kirk. We'll see what Kirk Cousins props pop up, and even Christian Kirk. First or last name can be searched up in the search bar. And to the right of the search bar, you'll see this notification button. You can set up email notifications very custom to what you would like. So let's say you want to be emailed PrizePicks plays that are above 55.5% chance to hit and have 3 minimum data points. You can set that up and you will be literally emailed these plays as they hit the board. And last but not least, this little refresh button allows you to refresh Daily Grind Fantasy without having to refresh your entire web browser. Overall, the optimizers are very simple to use when trying to find plug and play value. The second tool included in the fantasy bundle is going to be the fantasy score page. Once again, if you're on the main screen and you come up to tools, you come to fantasy scores, it's going to pull up the fantasy score page as you see here. So if you're reading this, you would see that Walker Buehler is listed at 21 fantasy score on PrizePicks, but these three other major sports books and their would-be lines would have this closer to about 22.5 average as far as these three different sports books, so a difference of 1.5 fantasy score. So it looks like the over on PrizePicks does have some slight value since you are getting it 1.5 off of the market. Then we look at Mookie Betts, listed at 6.5 on PrizePicks, but this one sportsbook, BetMGM, would have this closer to about 7.2 as their projection for his fantasy score. So off by about 0.7 fantasy score, maybe a little value on the over on PrizePicks. And as for filters on the fantasy score page, you can sort by league, specific players, you can reset your filters, search by specific players, and of course, do the refresh that does not refresh your actual browser as well. And last but not least, included in the fantasy bundle, the DFS Middling Tool. And of course, to find this from the main page, you would go to Tools, click DFS Middling, and it would pull up the DFS Middling Tool. The Middling Tool is only going to compare DFS apps to DFS apps. No sports books included in this one. What is middling, and how do you do it? Well, you were looking for two sports books that are so off, you play the over on one, the under on the other, giving yourself a chance to win if the player lands in the middle of those two projections. This happens more often than you think because DFS apps and sportsbooks all set lines independently, so sometimes they don't always agree, at least initially, right? So we can see here Juno in CS2, which I know this is not a real sport, but you can find milling opportunities all the time in CS2, is listed at 21.5 on PrizePicks, but 24.5 on Underdog. So there's actually a 3-kill middle possible with this play. You could take the over on PrizePicks at 21.5, the under of 24.5 on Underdog, and if he lands at 22, 23, or 24, you technically win both bets. Now, I'm not saying you're always going to hit the middle and win both of those bets, but you're giving yourself a small percentage chance to do just that. However, you could either win on PrizePicks or on Underdog if you don't hit the exact middle. But the reason it makes complete sense that you should middle these is because with these two apps setting their lines independently, as I mentioned, it's probably safe to assume that the middle is the most accurate projections when you have these two very reputable DFS apps setting lines. As for filters on the middling tool, it's pretty much the same. At the very top here, you have the different DFS apps that you can replace here in this column, where it's easily able to compare to the other DFS apps that are not selected. And then you have different leagues that you can see. If you only want to see CS2 plays, you can go ahead and do just that, where it's only going to show you the CS2 plays and middling opportunities. And then you can select specific teams, stat types, overs and unders as mentioned before, which ones are plus EV plays in which slip types, reset the filters, search by player, and even refresh again without refreshing your full browser. And before we move on to the second subscription, the AI Slip Generator, I wanted to mention how important it is to have every single DFS app possible to you. That way you can take advantage of all the value that pops up on these different books. And to do so, you want to take advantage of the deposit match bonuses that are given when you first sign up for these books. You can actually click the top of each of these different books and it will automatically give you the deposit match bonuses for that specific book. Taking advantage of those deposit matches is basically free money to help kickstart your bankroll. And now the AI Slip Generator, the easiest and most profitable DFS tool in the game. So now you've signed up for the AI Slip Generator and you want to access the tool, you'll come from the homepage up the tools and then click AI Slip Generator. It's then going to load up the AI Slip Generator for you here. What does the AI Slip Generator do and how does it work? Well, it actually uses line comparing technology based off the optimizers we just talked about to line compare the sportsbooks lines and odds directly back to PrizePicks and whatever DFS app you're looking for to find the best value, and then it will build out full slips for you that you actually just simply tail, and you know you're getting long-term profitable value. If you just continue to play these slips, you're going to be profitable. And if you scroll down, you will find the slips being spit out by the AI Slip Generator, and all you would simply do is click reveal the slip, plug and play, trusting and knowing that you are getting long-term profitable value in each slip. So this specific slip is for flip, but if we scroll down, we can find that there's other DFS apps that AI is spitting out slips for, including Rebet, Bettor. So you would log into Bettor on your phone and just simply plug these plays in on Bettor, enter in your slip, and same thing with this Underdog slip. We could come over to Underdog and place this slip and know that we are getting good value comparing to the sportsbooks lines and odds, the number one way to profit long term. And this is even easier on PrizePicks. You can actually do this on mobile or desktop, but I'll insert a clip here where you can actually tail plays with one click of a button from the AI Slip Generator. It will load it up onto PrizePicks. All you simply do is enter in the amount you want to play and hit submit, and you will have a long-term profitable slip on PrizePicks. Every second matters when trying to get in good value on these DFS apps because they bump and remove stuff pretty quickly. So it's really, really convenient and clutch that you can do this with one click of a button without having to waste time searching up specific players on PrizePicks. So I'm telling you, it's well worth it for that reason. The faster you are, the better value you can secure on all of these DFS apps. That's why putting your hands up and letting AI take over might be the best option for some of you guys that don't have the time of day to scan an odds screen and get in this value yourself. Letting AI do it is way faster than you and I doing it, so it cuts out the middleman and the time having to really search and find the best value. AI does it in a split instant. And now the filters on the AI Slip Generator, you can actually search by specific sportsbook. If you only want to see slips from Bettor, you can do that, and it will show you all slips that are being spit out for Bettor. You can search by specific sport or league, specific games. You can reset your filters, and this generate button right here is not recommended, but it would show you slips that are the best available slips, even if they aren't long-term profitable slips. I do not suggest using this and tailing these red plays, but it's just an option to show you what is out there. And in the top right, you can actually sort by profit margin, correlation score, or start date for these slips. And for profit margin, if you guys don't know, the profit margin shows you the expected value or ROI of placing a bet on this slip if you win. So you have that. You can also sort in direction, highest to lowest, lowest to highest. And most importantly, you can actually receive email notifications when new slips are posted to the AI tool. So you would get an email notification and just plug and play from that email notification, or you can conveniently check the tool whenever you would like. So with your AI Slip Generator subscription, you are getting a tool that does all the hard work for you. You just put your hands up and play the slips that are being spit out by the AI Slip Generator. If you have very little time throughout your day to place bets, then this might be the route for you, as you could take 5 minutes out of your day total and enter in a bunch of slips that get spit out on the AI Slip Generator. And last but not least, there might be a few other tabs you might be interested in. Under Resources, this is kind of how to win with DGF, a little bit of a breakdown, kind of what I've done in this video. You can sign up for the affiliate program where you can actually get 50% commissions on each person you bring in to Daily Grind Fantasy, and then merch, promo code offers, and so on. And whether you choose the AI Slip Generator or the Fantasy Bundle, I truly believe that line comparing is the best way to set yourself up for long-term profits when sports betting. That's going to be it for this Daily Grind Fantasy tutorial video. Hopefully you guys learned something and enjoyed. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I will be answering questions from all of your guys' comments. But don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. We post sports betting content like this every single week.